Okay, we've got a 2016 Toyota Sienna, and we have a shattered fog lamp, lower fog lamp right here. And we are going to be changing that out. The OEM part is made by this company, TYC. Bought this on Amazon, ran about $70. Right? Part came in. Yep. So we're going to be removing this and then going ahead and putting a new one in. Pretty simple here. It looks like there's probably going to be 4 screws or bolts and then 1 plug-in, I'm guessing. So let's get at it. All right, on this first step, I have the wheels turned all the way to the right. And we're gonna see if we can get into where we need to go without having to remove this plastic inner wheel well liner. A lot of work there. And then the clips, I just don't want anything to break and it won't go back to as it was before. So those are turned all the way to the right. And then you'll need a screwdriver, most likely a Phillips, a ratchet set, looks like maybe. And what I've done here initially is I have removed this bar that holds down the battery. And what that does is it gives me more room to get my hand down in here. Before I go any further, I do want to point out that the fog lamp parts are not interchangeable, meaning there is a part for the left fog lamp and right fog lamp. Make sure you get the right ones. You'll see that they are properly angled, kind of angled in this case. So just take note of that. Make sure you get the left or the right appropriately. But this first step here, again, I've got this bar out of the way, and what that's going to do is give you some room to get down into there. You can see it if we focus. You'll see the existing bulb down in there. And there's essentially 1 Phillips screw, it looks like, on the far right side. So it'd be the outside of the car. And we'll need to get down in there. You can see it, you can feel it. You can also look at it from the top down. So we're going to get that 1 screw out and see if that's the only one or if there's another second one hidden. I was able to get down in there. I did have to use a bit of a shorter Phillips, nothing more than about 5 or 6 inches in total length, because when you're going in to unscrew that 1 screw, you'll back up into the inner liner, as I was mentioning before. But it is easy to get in there. There's actually just 1 screw. I've positioned the screw back in there the way that it was sitting. Okay, right? So there's just 1 screw. You take that out. Try not to let that fall down in there. If you do, there's actually a little hole down there that you can push it down through and it'll fall out the bottom, or you can use a magnetic tip and pull it out. But what is nice is there's quite a bit of length on that cord. So we're just gonna pop that connector off and then put in the new connector. You can see I just dropped the bolt, the screw, the exact same thing I told you not to do. That's okay, we'll get it. And then we will reconnect the new light fixture. Okay, we've got the old bulb off of the cord in the connector. If you can't seem to figure out how to get this off, you're gonna push down right here. And what you're doing is then you're lifting that tab up at the end and it will release. So if you see it, it'll push up. Kind of imagine like a spring effect there. So push up, get that to go up, and then just pull down and out, and it should disconnect, no problem. All right, bulb is connected. Word to the wise, always check that you have the bulb working. Maybe it's a bad part, maybe there's a cut line, just anything at all. Before you install that bulb, make sure it runs. To make sure that you also have the bulbs turned on, the fog lamps, this is what you'll look for. Okay, this is not off, it's on the on position, and then over here you'll actually have it onto there as well, and fog. So test both lamps before you put the ones back in. Okay, the bulb is off, car is off. Word to the wise, those are halogen bulbs. They do get very, very hot very, very quickly. So you want to make sure that if you're going to install that right away, give this some time to cool down, give it a couple taps until you can rest your fingers on there. But you could be careful not to hurt yourself because it could be very, very hot. Also, one other point while I'm in here, battery terminals are right there. Always be careful that you're not laying any tools. If you have something like a screwdriver and it laid across and touched the terminals, things like that, arcing, always never good. So just be careful with what metal tools you have in and around here because you have 2 active terminals. Time to put the bulb in. Again, make sure that it's angled this way. And when in doubt, a couple things you can always check. Make sure the writing is upright. So it says TYC there. I don't know if you can tell in the video. SAEF07, so on and so forth. And then also too, the connector will point and face down. Okay, so when it's installed, we'll go down and then in like this and then screw it in. It'll be this top hole right here, just the one screw. We should be good to go. All right, we have the bulb back in there. Everything looks good. Again, the writing's at the top. If you've done this right, this should be very snug. You shouldn't be able to push it, wobble it, anything like that. The one screw is in there. I will say that when you were going to install this, in case you didn't notice when you took it out, when you're down in the connector hole, or the housing, if you will, you'll need to go down like this, and you'll need to come down in and then seat it like this. Those 2 areas right here, those 2 holes, those 2 tabs, if you will, go into tab holdings and then down, and then you screw it on the right-hand side, that single screw, right? That will get you a tight seat. If you screw that screw in and it wobbles, or you can pull it back, or it's not tightly seated, then chances are one, if not both of these 2 tabs are not down in their respective holding holes, if you will, down in the housing. But we're good there. And then always make sure that you put your bolt back in there for your battery bracket to hold that battery down. And then last but not least, again, this is a housing, but you have your bulb in here, right? So if your bulb is still good, then you can take this out, just twist it out, and save that bulb, that halogen bulb. They're not expensive to replace, but it is OEM. It's nice, it matches, it's the right lumens, it's the right color temperature, because bulbs are different color temperatures, things like that. So if you want it to match, keep that bulb around and you can use it if in the future you ever need to. Again, this housing is obviously not good anymore because the glass is broke, but take that bulb out and save it if you can. And when you do that, try not to touch the bulb with your fingers, because the oil on your fingers can impact the performance of the bulb from the oils in your hands. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. All in all, it should take you no more than 15-20 minutes if you have the right tools in hand, which is basically, again, just a screwdriver. Pretty easy. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you. Bye-bye.